I'm going to start quite bluntly. So my name is Shane. For those who don't know me, Shane Telemak. I have a wellness and nutrition business. I'm also a videographer, photographer, and just having to study the body, the human body, and realize there were certain changes that I had to make. But I'm going to be quite blunt in saying that if you do have sickle cell, you shouldn't really be consuming consistent amount of trans fats, heavy meats, processed meats, sugary drinks and biscuits. I'm not saying that you fully stop it, but even people who don't have sickle cell, it shows that it affects the endothelial cells, which is basically to do with blood flow. Now, what is sickle cell? Sickle cell is an issue with blood flow amongst numerous amount of other things. So consuming these things definitely puts you in a kind of deficit, and it doesn't give you your best quality of existence. And that's not even just me saying that, that's science that's showing it, because these tests are done on people without sickle cell, so imagine with. Now, what is the best quality of existence for yourself? Like, you have to kind of ask yourself that. But for me, I realized I was improving my quality of existence when I was taking less codeine, morphine, having to attend the hospital so much. And when I was in a state of fear, that wasn't my best quality of existence. And the fear came from me not knowing tomorrow if I'm going to be able to stick to my plans. And that is a big thing. That causes a lot of depression. You don't want to let people down. And it can be quite overwhelming. So then at the end of it, you end up not even making plans because you're quite fearful of that. Now, that's basically what I see as a better quality of existence and how you can improve these things. Now, that's exactly where I was, yeah? And I'll be honest with you, it was quite a bad stage. I used to depend on quite a lot of the pharmaceuticals, depend on other people for my improvement. And I'm not saying that's the worst thing in the world, but once I started to take the power back and realize that there was things that I could do, and that came from me studying the human body, studying the endothelial cells, studying what works for me, and also just nutrition and science as a certain background, taking a few courses and realizing, okay, cool, I was actually making myself sicker than I should be. And I had to take the responsibility for that. And when I started realizing that, I was like, okay, so now I can start making these changes. Now, luckily for me, and I'm so grateful, I was at Hackney hospital, a lot of people looking out for me, looking out for people who do have sickle cell and other things. And I was blessed to have a hematology doctor by the name of Dr. Sickle, may he rest in peace. He done a lot of things for people with sickle cell, just in general, he really helped us out, and he wanted us to be our best self. So when I would come to the hospital, it wouldn't just be a guessing game of me thinking, okay, these foods are gonna work for me, these foods aren't gonna work for me. I was able to get blood tests done, and he didn't make that hard thing for myself. So when I wanted to check my magnesium, calcium, B12, vitamin D, whatever it was, folate, ferritin, he would do these things for me. So the changes that I make, I can see it on a mineral basis how it's actually working. It's not just me playing a guessing game. So from that, people started seeing my improvement, and they started coming to me for certain things. I was doing things for as free as I could, but then it started becoming time consuming and also costing me, so that's when I turned it into a business. But I say that to say it's important for you to know where you're going to start from. I'm not saying to just start blindly and give up all these type of foods without knowing what you're going to replace it with. And it's very important to know what you're going to replace it with. Now, I've spoken a lot about myself, but what I would like, even the people who have sickle cell and who don't have sickle cell, I also work with people who have high blood pressure, pre-diabetes, if they have kidney issues regarding creatinine, all of these things. But I would like you to leave here knowing that there's a certain plan that you can put in place, so you don't have to kind of play the guessing game and think, okay, is this making me worse or is it not? It's very important to get these blood works done so you can actually see what you're doing. Because an example being, I had a client who had low ferritin and folate levels, and one of the things that can help with that is beetroot and beet juice. However, he also had something called, it's basically high potassium. So and when you have high potassium and you're including beetroot into your diet, that's not going to help you because that's loaded with potassium, and that could lead to so many things, including heart issues. So that's why it's important to get these blood works done. Now, so back to the issues of, you know, the trans fats and all of these kind of foods. So the reason why I would say that you shouldn't be eating these things consistently is because it's how it breaks down in the body. So it breaks down and it leaves certain free radicals, and trans fats are an abundance of things. So it's from M&Ms to Walkers to pizzas, believe it or not, hot dogs. All of these things, if we consume them consistently, we're going to see the effects down the road. And also, if you have sickle cell, you know, you're going to be getting up feeling groggy, energy-less, and you're going to feel these certain effects and think, why do I feel this way today? Yesterday I felt all right. But a lot of the time, these are the things that are making it happen, making you feel this certain way. So it's really important to know that you can make certain changes, and then also when you're doing so, take notes. Realize, okay, cool, I'm doing this today, I'm gonna have this diet for about a week or two. How do I feel? Have a journal so you know what's helping and what's not helping. Again, having a guessing game is a really long thing. So these trans fats, the processed meat, in abundance. I'm not saying again, I'm not to just stop it, but the processed meats and things like that, they have something called nitrosamines in it, which other foods do have that. But when you look at even spinach and other vegetation, they do have nitrosamines. However, it's the high levels of vitamin C, the polyphenols, the fiber, which counteracts those high levels of the nitrosamines within that. So when you have your processed meats like your bacon or your sausages, those things don't have the high levels of fiber or whatever it is, the polyphenols, so that goes straight into your bloodstream. So it's very important to look at that. Now, the other things that you can really do once you start to take out is what you put in. So when you're talking about breaking your fast, the first thing you're doing in the AM is quite beneficial to break your fast with dark berries, high water fruits, and this is what helps you with your detox stage. When you arise from sleep, you're still in a form of detoxing with your organs. So it's important to have these fruits as well as with the seeds, because that also helps the organs. And, you know, certain teas, if you're low in iron, but remember, also check your blood work. But if you're low in iron and your potassium's okay, start incorporating teas like sarsaparilla. Start incorporating other things, you know. And so for inflammation, sickle cell is a big thing as well. Mistletoe is really good for inflammation. Mullein, good for mucus of the lungs if you have asthma and other things like that. So it's really important to incorporate these things. And also sea moss. Sea moss is a mineral abundant algae. So it comes from the sea and it's really going to feed your body with what you lack. Now a lot of the foods that we eat, even when we feel like we're eating the best nutrition, due to the soil, it might not have all the minerals that it might say on the packet because it's been packaged for so long, because it's made a long journey from where it was. It's been picked from the root from a long time ago. So adding these things and these supplements into your diet can be beneficial. Now with sea moss, so I'm always going to give you the positive and kind of what you should look out for. I wouldn't say the negative, but it's what you should look out for. So with sea moss, if you have a thyroid issue, if you have hyperthyroidism, sea moss isn't specifically something that you should take because it's high in iodine. It's high in iodine, and that could become a problem. So again, make sure you know what you're doing before you stop these foods. And you know, if you would like to have a conversation with me, come to me and we can just, you know, have a plan for you. So I'm also doing plans for certain people. I work with a numerous amount of people. I'm doing food plans, herbal intake, all of these kind of things, because these are the things that I've made sure I've had to study for myself. I treated myself as a guinea pig at first and just realized there were certain things that I needed to do to have my best quality of existence. Before I go over my time, I'll actually just cover also exercise. Exercise is very key. So once you're doing these things, you don't have to start heavy. You don't have to go to the gym and do your 2-hour sessions and realize, okay, cool, I've overdone it, and then now I can't do no more. And you know, that will then put you off it for a very long time. Start very slowly with just your stretches, your low rep exercises, and then you can start to improve and do more and more. And again, if you need any tips or any advice, just ask me and I'll be here. So I'm going to be located at the table just to the left. I'm also going to be doing, so it's a raw food fast, a raw food detox. I do this 2 to 3 times a year. where you basically allow your body to not have to break down food that is cooked so often. You know, so you're on a raw food fast, you're talking about your avocados, your onions, your red peppers. It's going to be foods that are going to boost your immunity because of the high minerals that's in it, and your body has to do less work. When your body has to do less work, it can focus more on healing. And that's very key with someone with sickle cell. Now, it's very important to know these things, and to know one big thing as well is that you can make a change. We are beings from our Creator, from our God, and we have so much power within us. So once we decide to make a change and stick with it, just all you have to do is make that first step. That first step, and then get out of the way of your own body. You know, your body wants to heal. God has created you in such a way that your body always wants to heal. You don't have to control your breathing. You don't have to control when you're sweating. You don't have to control these kind of systems. So just know that you can improve and you can have a better quality of existence. It's just about how you go about doing it. With sickle cell, there are things that you have to omit. You know, people without sickle cell, they consume these foods. Long down the line, they might start to see side effects. You might see the side effects the next day, the next week, the next month. So you do have to kind of curate your diet plan and realize there are certain changes that you have to make. If you also want to see these changes and the foods that you can include into your diet, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and it's Max Nutrition. So that is MACQUES Nutrition. On Instagram, there's a underscore between Max and Nutrition. So before I go, I just want to say, believe in yourself, believe you can be your best self, and you know, you don't have to be in as much pain as you are. You can lower these medications. I'm not saying for you to stop because I'm not a doctor. I'm saying that you can lower these medications and have your best quality of existence. Thank you so much for your time.
Wow. Are you like me? Do you just learn a lot?
Yes.